When it comes to defense, everybody knows that there's nothing more important than tackling. Well, okay, I actually disagree with that. I do think there are some things more important than tackling.
We're not going to get a second chance in the game.
So if I was forced to rank them, I would probably rank my defensive priorities. Number one, alignment. Having your 11 in the correct place. I would say alignment. Then I thought about maybe assignment, like that key. But if I'm truly ranking, I guess I would then say leverage is my number two. Alignment, leverage, then tackling. I would rank tackling third for me. Now, just because I ranked it third does not mean that I do not value it. It is extremely important. We are going to drill tackling. For us, when we're in pads, our regular practice, we will be tackling every practice we are in pads. Now, we have our set tackling drills that we like, and after a long career of coaching and traveling the country, hearing a lot of drills, interviewing great coaches, I've latched on to my favorite. But today I want to share with you the things that I think are important when it comes to learning tackling. I want to tell you guys about an online platform that I've just gotten ready to share with you, and I'm calling it Turnaround. I think that one of the hardest things to do in sports is turning around a football program that has been struggling. There are a lot of men out there in this boat. You go into a situation where they've been losing for a long time, or a situation where they have very few kids, and it's your responsibility to turn it around. I do think there's an art to it. I think that I can give a lot of suggestions. I've been a part of 3 turnarounds in my career, and I would love for you to check that out. It's called Turnaround. The link is below. Want to get that community started, so come join us. Talk ball with us, share your insight, and let's start building this little community. So let me start with an example of what I don't like. I don't like it. I'm not saying these are bad. There's a million ways to skin a cat. But I don't like drills like this, where I've got kids coming at each other from quite a distance away, and they've got to make the play. Now, as your kids get older, I do think there's a place for some true open tackling, live open tackling drills. So this is not necessarily an example of something that is quote unquote bad. I just don't think this teaches tackling. This is a good practice for some open field tackling. What I don't want is kids just ramming into each other. I don't think you can make a kid tougher. A kid does become what we call tougher over a period of time as he gets more comfortable in his pads. And naturally, some of your kids will always be more aggressive. They will turn their nose away less on contact. And naturally, some kids are even able to get themselves to accelerate on contact. And those are the kids that we call tough. We call them hitters. But it doesn't come naturally to everyone. And everyone will get better and tougher over time. Longer they're in pads and the more comfortable they get. So I don't love things where we're just running at each other. I do love, here's an example of tackling drills that I love. This is a good little collection, and I'll link this one below. This is a good little collection of drills that are not high contact. They're saving wear and tear on your players' bodies, teaching some hip extension. There's some gator roll stuff here. I love this. The last one you see there, the guys are running their feet. This is a change of direction. The emphasis on wrapping. These are great. These are all great tools and great drills. The emphasis on running your feet there at the end. So there are so many resources here online for finding great tackling drills. I think the sky's the limit. What you want to do is decide, hey, what do I value when it comes to tackling? I just want to encourage you in this video, I would lower the value of making kids tough. If I could do anything, I want to make the toughness value, I want to make you rank that lower. So let me talk about what I said I rank higher. Of course, alignment, that this video is not about alignment. The next one is leverage. Now, leverage is what I really want to teach. When I come to my tackling circuit, my tackling drills, I really want to teach 2 things. Leverage, and then that form fit. Like, what is the position I would like to be in? Where would I like my head? Where would I like my arms and my shoulder placement? Where would I like? I want to teach leverage and fit. Those are the two things I want to drill when I drill tackling. So let's talk about what is leverage. Leverage is understanding where I fit on the ball carrier. So if this F here, let's make him red to stand out. No, that's too close. Let's make him blue like his teammate. If I am trying, here comes the ball carrier. He's out here. We want to have, I want my athletes to know, what is my leverage? Where do I fit? Well, my outside linebackers know I'm an outside hip player. I play the outside hip of this ball carrier. So he knows he plays that half of the ball carrier. I'm an outside hip player. Now, he's the only primary outside hip player. The corner knows that he could become an outside hip player if the monster were to miss. If the monster ever misses, our corner is our secondary force player. Now, all of my interior guys here, let's make a box. All 7 of these interior guys are inside hip players. So as they pursue this ball carrier, they must pursue his inside hip. And this is so important to teach because kids naturally, as the ball begins to go wide, kids naturally want to play one-man defense. Now, one-man defense is the thought that it is my responsibility and my responsibility alone to corral this ball carrier. So if I know, if my name's Johnny right here, and I know me, Johnny, I got to get this man down, well, then if it's just one-on-one, I've got to take a certain angle. Everything changes. But it's not one-on-one. And Johnny's got to understand, I'm playing 11-man defense. I'm part of a unit. So there is a part of this defender, this offender, I am responsible for taking away. And the part I'm responsible for taking away is the inside hip. So as I pursue a player that is coming out wide, I must be attacking on this inside out angle. You'll hear it called like a banana path, inside out angle, and I'm aiming for the inside hip. If I too aim for the outside hip, then that is where we get cutbacks, and cutbacks turn into huge plays. As you watch football this fall, look for big-time plays, and usually the big plays, what you end up with are too many inside hip players that over-pursue and end up playing the outside hip. You end up with more than one force player. I'll ask our athletes all the time, how many men does it take to force the ball? 1. It takes 1 man to force it. 1. Everyone else pursues from the inside hip. Now you'll see it's especially important. I shouldn't say especially important. It's especially more difficult to teach that angle to a safety. Now your safety, if he can figure this out, will impact the game greatly, because if he can come downhill first, right, his natural instinct to seeing the ball swing out wide will be to also swing out wide. Instead, we want his first reaction when he sees run to come downhill, allow the ball to get outside of him, and now pursue it inside out. A good safety that understands that he fits inside leverage is going to take away a whole lot of plays that could have been big breakaway runs. So we have to practice that. So let's get back. This next video is by Nick Pelham, who I think, in my opinion, is one of the best defensive coaches in the nation. He's certainly one of the top 3 defensive coaches I've come across in my travels with Chief Pigskin. He coaches out in South Carolina at a school called White Knoll. At this time, he was at Dutch Fork, and Dutch Fork had just won 4 straight state championships with him as a D coordinator. He gets the head job at White Knoll, and now, guess what? I think a year ago, White Knoll loses the Dutch Fork in the state championship. So now he's got them playing championship football that quickly. This tackling video, which is available for members here on Chief Pigskin, is, to me, this is like my tackling Bible. This is what I use. I want to use what Nick Pelham teaches, and he's an incredible teacher. This video is 1 hour and 40 minutes of tackling and pass rush. He leaves no stone unturned. So let's just dive into the things that are so important to me as I teach tackling. Now, I love this idea of putting kids in these lines because I'm getting a lot of reps at the same time. He's got practically his entire defense practicing tackling at the same time. Notice that they start at this very close format. They're very close. They wrap up and they run their feet. Okay, now you can decide based on other studies. I would listen to Nick, but where you want to place the head. Do you prioritize placing the head on the ball? Do you prioritize keeping the head out? You want to hit near foot, near knee, right? Near same foot, same shoulder. You want to prioritize that, or do you like getting your head across the ball? That's like separate studies. You got to take time to look into that. But this is a great way to start. I want to teach the kids how we fit up. And I want to try to build the habit of a true wrap. I'm trying to reach far behind his body. I want to wrap and squeeze, and I want to run my feet. Now, the next thing that he gets to is I just love this verbiage: long stride, short stride. When I'm far away, I'm long striding, and as I get close, I short stride. And so we're hearing our kids are repeating this all the time. In our practice, you would hear long stride, short stride, and the kids know what happens when you short stride. Hands wide. The kids know when I short stride, hands wide. So this is an example of him doing his drills without pads. And here they come practicing their long stride to short stride. Now, naturally, drills 1 and 2, they eventually come together. Long stride, short stride, and then I form fit. Now his drills then go into creating this angle. Notice that said sideline tackle. This is where you're teaching leverage. You're teaching those kids you must force this ball to go away from you. So as you watch these kids come downhill, I must force him towards the sideline, or in essence, force him towards my force player. I must make sure I'm taking away the inside hip. And here they are drilling, taking away the inside hip. We want to drill taking away the inside hip every single day. All my 7 interior players, inside hip, inside hip, inside hip. We hear this so religiously, we want to say it till we're blue in the face. If I can master teaching my kids how to pursue the ball with the proper leverage, it is difficult to miss tackles. It's not impossible. And some athletes are so good with the ball that they can make you miss and they make you look silly. It happens. But it is difficult to miss if I can get you to pursue with the proper leverage. Hopefully something I said or offered helps you a little bit. Would love to see in the comments below. Link up a tackling video you love that's here on YouTube. Link one up in the comments below. I want to see great resources and things that you guys are using in your program. Hey, don't forget to look us up, Turnaround, that little online community that I'm building for guys that are going through difficult situations, working hard to turn around a program. I don't know if there's anything harder in sports than turning around a football program that has been in the dumps. So it is difficult. So building that online community, link below, go check that out.